Given the profit payoff table, which has three states of nature, S1, S2, and S3, three decision alternatives, I'm going to use the Hurwicz decision criterion with alpha equals to 0.3 to find the optimal decision. The alpha there is called the coefficient of optimism. In this case, it's a 0.3. It's quite low, indicating a relatively pessimistic outlook. So we'll now go on and find the Hurwicz value. To find the Hurwicz value, we first start by determining the maximum possible payoff for each decision alternative. So I will have a column where I have my maximum and look at each decision alternative and find the maximum. So for decision alternative 1, we are looking at this row. The maximum there is at 26. For decision number 2, we are looking at this row. The maximum is at 27. For decision alternative 3, we are looking at this row. The maximum is at 28. Then the next step, we go on and determine the minimum possible payoff for each decision alternative. So I'll write my minimum there. So look at each row and find the minimum. For decision alternative 1, we are looking at this row, and the minimum there is at 12. For decision alternative 2, we look at this row, and the minimum is at 13. For decision alternative 3, we look at this row, and the minimum is at 7. So we now have the maximum and the minimums. We now go on and calculate the Hurwicz criterion value. The Hurwicz criterion value for decision I is given by alpha multiplied by the row maximum plus 1 minus alpha multiplied by the row minimum. So in this case, we are having our alpha is equals to 0.3. So I'll write that alpha is equals to 0.3. So we need this value of 1 minus alpha. So using this value of alpha that we have, 1 minus alpha will be equals to 0.7. Now we go on and calculate the Hurwicz criterion value for decision 1. Using this formula here, it will be 0.3 times 26 plus 0.7 times 12, which gives us a 16.2. We use the maximum and minimum values which are appearing here. For decision number 2, we have the maximum and minimum values here. So our Hurwicz criterion value will be 0.3 times 27 plus 0.7 times 13, which gives us 17.2. We now move on to decision number 3, the Hurwicz criterion value. We will use these two values. It will be 0.3 times 28 plus 0.7 times 7, which gives us a 13.3. We then go on and identify the optimal decision. To identify the optimal decision, we select the decision alternative with the highest Hurwicz criterion value. In this case, we see that the highest Hurwicz criterion value is this one, 17.2, which is from decision number 2. So our conclusion there is using the Hurwicz criterion, the optimal decision is decision number 2.